Hello, YouTube. It's Berto Prey 5. And I forgot to unmute. Not on the microphone this time. The mic. Camille has called in. Camille has called in. Thank you, Camille. My mom is playing an old stream. She hears sound just fine. I don't know what's going on with her. Anti-Trekker has texted me. Thank you, Anti-Trekker. Camille has called into Mom. Thank you, Camille. And thank you, everybody. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. I knew I was going to forget to unmute it. I muted it when I was recording the background video for the What We Left Behind video I released earlier today. So let me start over. Today was a very busy day. It is bed life for April 26th. Yes, April 26th. Hello, YouTube. And there we go. April 26th, 2019. A very busy day. Last night, the season finale of the Orville. Possibly the series finale. I hope it's not true, but it looks like it might be. In honor, I did wear my Seth Track shirt. It might be our very last Orville discussion ever. Well, at least a discussion about an episode. It's possible. The end could be here, people. And even more impressive than last night's Orville was finally, the long-awaited, anticipated Star Trek Deep Space Nine documentary, What We Left Behind. As some might have guessed, when you try to stream it and you try to take all these precautions as to who might be streaming it, you were bound to have issues. So unfortunately, many people who tried to watch it at 9:09 p.m. when they first sent the emails, they got lots of server down messages, and lots of emails through the night about, and they were making jokes about, Section 31 got to the servers and blah 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 blah. But let me tell you, if I had paid money, which I did, and I was actually anticipating watching it last night, I would have been mega pissed. Mega pissed. That said, I was so tired, I saved it for this morning, and I had no problem watching it this morning. Which, thankfully is good. So, I'd like to talk a little bit about both, and of course we still have Cobra Kai, which I'm in up to episode 3, I believe, and still a great show. So let me go to the chat. I know Anti-Trekker was here early. Remember to change from top chat to live chat, which I did before I refreshed the page, and now I've got to do it again. So Anti-Trekker called first at 5:09 p.m. Eastern, 51 minutes before I started streaming. And he also called the first like. And then he said Avengers End Game was awesome, just in case we weren't sure. And then he was curious if it was the make and model of my hospital bed in the picture, the thumbnail image. And yes, it's close. It's as close as you can get, basically. Very similar. Anti-Trekker says, oh cool, another question. How long is the Orville finale? 1 hour and 2 minutes with commercials. So, probably 50 minutes without. I watch it. TiVo recorded 1 hour and 2 minutes. So actually, probably an hour, because I think I record an extra minute front and back. So it's probably a 60-minute episode, and take away commercials. Yeah, end up with like 45. Anti-Tracker says, can I watch it on my lunch hour? No, you can watch it on your lunch hour. It is not an extended episode. It is a great paced episode. It goes well. I won't give away any spoilers. Only going to say that it does not end on a cliffhanger. It is a true conclusion to the story they started last week. And if the series had to end, it wouldn't be the worst. It would not be the worst ending ever. There is some small bit of closure, but it also leaves open all the possibilities. I don't think they intended this to be a series finale, but I think they also, wanted to make sure they didn't leave us hanging in case it was. And then he said, okay, now you go live. Yes. And Anti-Tracker seemed to be first at 6:01 p.m. Thomas Potts says he was late, very, very close. 6:01 p.m. Thomas Potts. Anti-Tracker then starts trying to warn me that there's no audio. Thomas says mic. They start using all caps. Check your mic, check your mic, check your mic. Hector says no we. And Anti-Trigger says audio. Hector says damn it. Josh Street says it's old General Chang after years of recovering. Yes. Josh Street says Anti-Trigger call Bird, and Anti-Trigger texted me at about the same time Camille called in, which was very helpful because one day Anti-Tracker might not be here, or Camille might not be watching, and it's good to have the backups. So thank you both, and thank you to the people who tried to get my attention. I should never have muted it. I should have just cut the audio out later. I knew it was a mistake as I hit it. So, Anti-Trigger says that look. He knows that look. There it is. There he is. Thomas Potts is first of the audio stream. Okay, Thomas. Anti-Tracker says he will be back after lunch. Well, I hope you watch the Orville, Anti-Tracker. Thomas Potts says, see you April 26, 2019. Yes. Josh Street said, Nerdrotic just went live. Watch him or Bird. Maybe I'll stay with Bed Life. Very cool, Josh Street. I did see Nerdrotic go live talking about the Orville. Bed Life is more entertaining, says Thomas. Why, thank you. Alex Brooks says hello. I know, I didn't own a comic store. I'm sorry. I can't talk about comic books. And I live in New York City instead of San Francisco. But otherwise, yes. Also, you might notice I did finally get Space Engine working from Anti-Tracker's recommendation, and I have a joystick to control it. We're spinning out of control now. Okay, we can aim the ship. I don't know. Something. We'll find someplace interesting. Yeah, I don't know. There we go. Cluster of stars. Of course, it's behind my head, but we'll head in that direction. We'll see if anything interesting happens. We're increasing speed. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. So, give our stars something to spin. little movement outside the window. Alex Book says hello. Josh Street says Thomas Nerdrotic would be better if he would pull a bird with forgetting to unmute his mic. Brian McFarland says hi-de ho everybody. Hi-de ho, Brian. And no, Nerdrotic is a professional. He does not forget to unmute. Never, at least in the streams I have seen. Shronmore says greetings, Berto Prey and fellow nerds. Greetings, Shronmore. Thomas Potts, his Romulan warbird decloaking. Well, we're cloaked, so we don't have to worry about anything. And I don't know. How did that text get on the screen? That text shouldn't be there. Go away. Go away. I don't know. I forgot how to make it go away. Ah, damn it. Okay, now you go away. There we go. There we go. Okay. We gotta have the effect. Phone has been ringing like crazy today, but at least this isn't junk. It's not a junk call. Thomas's Bird of Prey owned a laundromat. Actually, I did not. There were no laundromats. Although I'll be honest, I do remember my parents considering buying a laundromat at one time. It was my dad actually, growing up, my dad actually owned a video game route. He put up, regular old arcade games. He'd put them in stores and the pizzerias. Pac-Mans, Miss Pac-Mans. He was in the heyday of the arcade games. He started it as a side business. He was never sure if it was going to take off. And like the first day he put in his first game, the place called him and said the game's broke. 6 hours later, he's like, ah, shit, this isn't going to work. He goes there to see what the hell was the problem. The machine was full. It was full of quarters. I mean, it was a wild success, larger than he could have imagined. And for several years, he was making bank. And the routes grew. He ended up giving up his full-time job. He made the video games his full-time job. Our garage in the house was converted into a work area. He had soldering irons. He was getting circuit boards in from Japan. He had all this equipment to copy chips and program shit, and he would teach me how to change the CRT monitor, what you had to jump to make sure you didn't get shocked when you were taking the CRT out of an arcade game. And these were big, massive wooden monstrosities. And he had this beat up old van, this like 80 or 1980 or so Ford van brown van that we'd put games in. He had this van for like 2 decades. And I tell you, the thing ran, I mean, it was rusted to shit, but ran like a champ. One time we were driving and the passenger seat just broke. I fell way back, and Dad's looking at me. He's like, what can I do to help? And I'm like laying back. I'm like, if you could do a short stop, that would help. He said, okay. And he slammed on the brakes, and I used the momentum to sit back up. And then I just sat on the front of the seat until we got home. I mean, this was the 80s. This was maybe 1990. This was before we cared about seat belts, okay? Nobody cared about seat belts. Okay, forget. Only losers used seat belts in those days. Good times. And anyway, having the video games is what made me want to become an electrical engineer.
I'm sorry. Can I interrupt your stream?
Yes. Do you need me to mute something?
No, I need you or somebody in your audience. Uncle Buddy's got an iPhone.
Right.
It's going directly to his voicemail. Should he shut it off and turn it back on, or
Yeah.
is there a way to fix it besides that? Does he
No.
have something set?
I doubt he has anything set, but did he try shutting it off and turning it back on?
I don't know. I'm waiting for him to call me back because it's not ringing on his end. Okay, just shutting it off and turning it back on is it?
I would try that first.
Okay.
Does anyone have an iPhone and ever had it set to go right to voicemail? I imagine. I don't think that's something you would set, but I don't know. Just out of curiosity.
Hello? Yes.
Sorry about that.
I
So
know it didn't move. Okay, Joe said try. Huh? They called twice.
okay. So yeah, those were good days. Those were good days. That said, to get when I saw the trailers of the Deep Space Nine. Well, wait. Let's see. Schronmore says I'm suggesting an updated version of Cluedo for the modern age. Clue for the modern age. Instead of Professor Plum with the candlestick in the library, you would have Captain Snowflake in the cafe with the ball gag. Oh, Jesus. Thomas Potts says, did your dad make copies of video games like bootleg? No comment. Thomas Potts says, when I saw the trailers of the Deep Space Nine documentary, the interviews of Brooks looks like they were from years ago. Yeah. In fact, in the video I released earlier today, my first reaction, I actually contained the video to like 17 minutes or something. One of my shortest videos. I actually edited the audio to get it cut down. Yeah, as I pointed out in that video, I'm not even sure Avery Brooks recorded any new footage for this. As much as I love Avery Brooks, he is a weird guy, and frankly, they talk about his weirdness in the documentary. It looks like the footage they use was all from what I believe was the documentary they did called The Captains. I don't know, was that 10 years ago now? But it looked like it was from there. I didn't notice anything that looked as new as the footage, because they had they had just about everyone. They had Bashir, they had Kira. Kira was in there a lot. Bashir was in there a lot. Jadzia was in there a lot. Rom was in there a lot. Nog was in there a lot. Quark was in there a lot. Jake Sisko was in there a lot. Cassidy Yates, even Jennifer, who was on 3 episodes for a total. Well, 2 of the episodes I think she was in. She had decent parts, but I mean she had only a few seconds in a couple of episodes. Little Molly O'Brien, all grown up, she's in there for a little bit. Miles O'Brien, he's in there quite a bit. Odo is in there. Wei-Yun, Damar, Garrick, and Gul Dukat. Gul Dukat is in there. Man, I gotta tell you, Gul Dukat, he does not look like a guy you want to be stuck on a planet with. Let me tell you, even without the makeup. And so it was noticeable to not have any footage of Avery Brooks with the gang. He's not hanging out with them. He's not there. And it's weird because the actor who plays Jake Sisko, and this, I don't know, this is a spoiler, but this is just stuff he was talking about his relationship with Avery Brooks. And it was stuff I didn't know, is that he said even at the time when he started playing Jake, Avery Brooks almost more or less adopted, and these are my words, not his, so I'm not spoiling it. I'm just telling you what I took from it. Basically, Avery Brooks more or less adopted him. He took him around. He took him out with his own son, because Avery had his own kid. And the three of them, they would go places. They'd go to basketball games. They would go meet famous people. They would do things, and he would introduce both kids, as his sons. He'd say, "These are my sons," and I thought that was pretty crazy. And then the actor, and I forget his name. I am sorry, but he said that to this day, him and Avery Brooks are still really, really close. So I was shocked that, if you're so close, why didn't he come with you, Obviously, we all want to see him. We all want to see Captain Sisko. We all want to see Avery Brooks, but no, dude, that's the one unfortunate part about this documentary, is that there is no real news on Avery Brooks. What they talk about Avery Brooks is like that. Talking to Avery Brooks is like talking to a jazz musician, and unfortunately I've never spoken to a jazz musician, so I really don't know what that means. Although I tell you, I could tell from the interviews, the guy is a bit eccentric. Okay, if he was poor, we'd call him crazy. But since he's a well-to-do off actor, he is eccentric. And they have some really good stories, things I did not know about him, about his character, about how he came to audition, about an episode he directed, some really good stuff. So I'm not... There's still good stuff on Avery Brooks. It's definitely worth the watch, but there's no real live Avery Brooks. Now that said, there is also one of the main parts of this documentary is that interspersed between the interviews with the actors are the original writers, and they're all gathered in the same room, I believe, or a room set up very similar to the room they used to use where they would plan out the episodes. And they literally went through the process on camera of hashing out what they would want as Season 8, Episode 1 of Deep Space Nine. And it would take place 20 years after Deep Space Nine, after the events of What You Leave Behind, which was the last episode of Deep Space Nine. And it focused on the station. It brought all the main characters, more or less. A couple they weren't going to bring back in the first episode. They said they could bring them back later in the season. Of course, they weren't. They were only planning the first episode. But so once this comes out, I'm guessing May, once it's released May 13th, I'm going to say at that point, I will do a spoiler review, a spoiler breakdown come May 14th or so. And one of the things I want to do with this channel is, now they lay out for us what this episode 1 of season 8 would be, and it is like you would expect. It is unexpected. I don't know how to say it. I would never have guessed it. I would not have thought this was the route they would take. But you know what? I understand it. It's not bad. It's a pretty good. I think it would make a pretty good episode. And then they end it at the end of the episode and they leave the rest of the season to our imagination. So I'm thinking, I've got an imagination. I'm going to do a YouTube series where I'm going to discuss basically, and I can't do fancy animation, unfortunately. That's just not something I'm good at. But I can talk it out. I can write down some bullet points and talk about, okay, what are going to be the highlights of episode 2? Who's going to do what? Who are we going to meet? Who's going to die? Are we going to find somebody, it was a secret something their entire life, whatever. So that's what I'm thinking I'll do. And we'll do, I don't know, 15, 20, 25 episodes. We'll see how it goes. I mean, Deep Space Nine had 25, 26 episode seasons at some point. These days it's unheard of, but, we'll figure it out. I can't wait. I so much love Deep Space Nine. And again, I said it earlier today. While I think TOS and Deep Space Nine were more or less equal quality, the fact that there's so many more Deep Space Nine episodes than TOS episodes means that, if I was stuck on an island and I only had one series and the ability to watch it over and over and over again, I would totally pick Deep Space Nine over TOS. TOS had gone 7 seasons. They may well still be the best, but it's hard. It's hard to top Deep Space Nine. Plus, it came out at this time of my life when I was growing up, and it made me the man I am today. I mean, good or bad, whatever you want to say about it. No, that's bad. Go away. Go away. Damn it. What can just take away these numbers? That's not good. No. Cancel. Go to spaceship mode. Damn it. I don't want to edit. I can't reach it. Oh, there we go. Okay. Go away. Why won't you go away? There we go. I gotta click on the words. Click on the words, I guess. Let's see. And of course. Okay. It gives us something to look at. Okay. The stars are spinning, but it's better than nothing. It's better than nothing. Let's see. Josh Reed says, might have it set to do not disturb. The phone.
He only had one bar.
Thank you guys, but it looks like it might have been a signal issue. He only had one bar. What'd you say?
He moved with the phone.
And he was able to get it to ring?
Yes.
Okay, so So it was a signal issue. Once he moved it to a place with more bars, he was able to get it to ring. So thank you guys. I do appreciate it. I do not have any Apple devices. I had an an iPod Touch. And then it bricked itself during an upgrade. And I couldn't do anything with it. I couldn't get it to work. I checked. Oh, another subscriber. Limerick Ajax. Ajax? If you're here, Limerick, welcome. Welcome. And yes, actually, if you guys have been following, my subscriber count has been, and it's not taken off like Anti-Tracker, but doing pretty damn well. I owe it to, mostly, of all things, my Twilight Zone videos. The Twilight Zone review from last week had over 560 views, which granted is not a lot for somebody like Anti-Tracker, but for me, that was my best doing video in weeks or months. And then the Twilight Zone review I did yesterday, and I only put out yesterday around, I don't know, midday, early afternoon, or maybe it was early afternoon, so barely more than 24 hours ago, already had over 700 views. Over 700 views today, and tons of comments from lots of people who hate the show. I mean, even this last episode of Twilight Zone, I actually didn't think was too bad, and everybody is commenting, oh, how awful they think it is. So, like, wow. And I tell you, it doesn't matter whether you are conservative, liberal, Republican, Democrat, Trump supporter, not Trump supporter. Everybody is united in their hate for the Twilight Zone. The Twilight Zone, Jordan Peele, you might have done it, my friend. You might have done it, Jordan. You have united the entire country of all beliefs, of all races, of all genders, of all everything, no matter what, they have all joined in, and they have something in common now. The mutual hate of the new Twilight Zone. So Jordan Peele, you might get a nomination for the Nobel Peace Prize. You have done what no politician, no actor or actress or musician or millionaire, billionaire, celebrity has been able to do. Unite Americans of all political beliefs in one common goal. We're getting your show off CBS All Access, off television. It's not really on television, but just getting it, making it go away. Okay? Blinking it out of existence like some unhappy person in a town where everyone needs to be happy all the time. So good job. Josh Reed says, so Bird was in the family business at an early age. Well, Thomas Potts says, so The Captains was William Shatner's show, but I think the interview of Brooks in the documentary is from the DVDs. Okay. Thomas says, Brooks is 70 years old now. Kenowick Sapien says, Avery Brooks lives in Jersey, Princeton, if I recall correctly. I think he still works as a drama professor. Drama professors tend to be eccentric. Well, that sounds exactly like him. Kenowick Sapien says, I think Avery Brooks runs a drama festival every summer, too. Thomas Potts says, Brooks' grandfather's last name is Crawford, related to Anti-Tracker. I don't know. Kenowick's is more like owned. Oh, God. Damn. It might be. I don't know Crawford family history. Kenowick Sapien says, just saying, but you never know. I can tell you without a doubt, my family never owned slaves. Okay? We weren't even here during slavery. Kenowick says, George Bush comes from a line of actual slave owners. Many people do. IMDb says, list Avery Brooks as archive footage. That makes sense. Thomas says, when I was younger, I had a show, Deep Space 12. It lasted 20 seconds. Keanu Sabian says, Twilight Zone looks like an untapped niche. Well, then I'm tapping it. I'm tapping it good for a YouTuber. Well, let's not let anyone else find out about it. It'll be our secret. Hi, Bird of Prey, says Alex Lethes. My next Doctor Who video is currently rendering. Hope to have it up in the next 4 hours. Wow, 4 hours to render one of those videos, Dr. Alex? But I look forward to it. Thomas says, were you taping AOC? Was who taping AOC? Oh, what are you taping AOC? Cool ship, by the way. Thanks, Alex. I think it goes better with my personality. Plus it's Klingon-ish. So did any of you guys see the Orville? I know some of you don't see it till next week, and some just don't see it at all. Some see it late. Some try to wait for Anti-Tracker, although I don't think he hasn't mentioned doing a live review of it. I'm just wondering if I should do any spoilers from last night's episode or wait. I could either do spoilers or not do spoilers. It would not matter to me. I almost said I could go either way, but then I knew some of you would have wrote that down and put it up as a quote out of context. So I did not say I could go either way. I said I could either do spoilers or not do spoilers because I am one step ahead of you guys now. Thomas says he hasn't had a chance yet to tape AOC. Alex Leasy says, well, rendering may be finished, but I'm drunk and I'm on the train home. Very, very understanding now, Alex. Dr. Alex, have a wonderful train ride home and drink responsibly. John Street says, Bird of Prey, did your helmsman have too much blood wine? Yeah, the helmsman is having some issues. Let's see if we can, oh geez. Oh no, I think they've, you gotta turn counterclockwise. Ahead, warp factor 6. You're spinning the ship. Inertial dampers are offline. Damn it. Okay. Captain on the bridge. Let's slow this baby down. There you go, crewman. There you go. Okay, come on. Come on back. Come on back. There we go. There we go. Now let's increase in speed to ludicrous speeds. There we go. There we go. I don't know. Oh, Jesus. Turn the ship around. We've now entered the great void of the galaxy. I don't know where we're going. The traveler is going to need to save us. I'm gonna stop trying to drive the ship. No, I don't need to do spoilers. Don't worry. We'll do them next week. Thomas Potts says, busy at work, then I slept most of the day. John Street says, no, the Hypno Turd, I forgot to watch the Orville. No, you can't just... You watch the Hypno Turd the entire time. Orville's gonna get canceled because of Josh Street. Damn it, Josh Street. Thomas Pot... No, Thomas, I didn't say that. That was the whole point. That was the whole point of me pointing it out. Damn it, Thomas. Uh, Alex Lethe says, I think you said it about 3 times now. Damn it. And then he says he is drunk responsibly. Thomas says, Bird of Prey is doing evasive maneuvers. Yes, that's what I'm doing. Bow chicka wow wow. No, there's no bow chicka wow wow going on the ship. Okay, I just needed to get the helmsman to point the ship in the right direction. That's what you get with women drivers. She's not the helmsman. Thomas says, I didn't add it. Okay, Thomas. Sure you didn't. Somebody will. Somebody will. So, without spoiling the Orville, like I said, there is no cliffhanger. It is a time. It is a time, It's exactly what we thought it would be in a way. In another way, man, it took me completely by surprise. And I will say this. The Orville officially now does Star Wars better than Star Trek does Star Wars. And it does Star Wars better than Star Wars does Star Wars, at least in recent years. So yes, if you are a Star Wars fan, you might appreciate it even more. And I will. That might be a bit of a spoiler. So let's just leave it at that. The Orville, lot of a Star Wars vibe this episode, and it was really good. It was really good. Unlike Identity Part 2, which I felt was a letdown from Part 1. This probably exceeded Part 1. I would say this was a better episode than Part 1 in all respects. Chief Cook says, hi all. Alex Lethe says, nothing dodgy about and of Bird of Prey 5 statements. Alex says, are all of Bird of Prey 5 subscribers wrenches? A lot of them are, Alex. A lot of them are. Thomas says, I think Fox announces their lineup on May 14th. Well, I hope so, but I mean, they've certainly said they've renewed other shows already, so it'd be really weird for them to wait till the 14th to not mention the Orville. But hey, if that's the day we gotta wait to, fine. But there's got to be a point where we say, no further. Okay, I've been pushed. This is the line. No further. And if it's May 14th, fine, be May 14th. John DeMarco says, hello all. Welcome, John DeMarco. So, yeah, checking around YouTube today. Basically, everybody's got Avengers End Game fever. The Big Bang Theory last night had Avengers End Game fever, which was fine. What wasn't fine was that Leonard mentioned Star Trek Discovery like he wasn't actually going to watch it, which we know if he was a real fan, a real nerd, he would not be watching Star Trek Discovery. I did, and I said this again in my video earlier today, that there was a section of the Deep Space Nine documentary where they were reading real fan mail and literal, paper mail that had been mailed to them over the years. And some of them read like, a Doomcock video on Star Trek, or an Anti-Tracker video, or a Bird of Prey 5 video on Star Trek Discovery. They were basically saying, and this wasn't the words they used, but they were basically calling Jadzia a Mary Sue. They had problems with Captain Sisko. They had problems with the whole cast. They said that the whole point was going out and exploring things, and they weren't exploring anything. I mean, in those, word for word, I mean, we've said Michael Burnham is a Mary Sue. We've said that Discovery isn't going out and exploring anything. The whole point of Star Trek was to explore things. That blah 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 blah, and I paralleled a lot of the things, and it was a part that I took out, I cut out of the video because I didn't have any good resolution for it. I couldn't resolve it. But between us, I started wondering, were we giving the Discovery writers too much crap? Could we possibly look back at Star Trek Discovery in 20 years, like people look back at Deep Space Nine today, and realize that it was indeed a gem of a show, that it was ahead of its time in some way, that we the fans just weren't ready for it, but in 20 years we're going to be begging for it. I don't know. It makes me question. It makes me question everything I thought I knew about Star Trek Discovery. But after about a minute of that type of pondering, I kind of came back to my senses and said, no, there are a few things I know in this world that are absolutely true. The sun comes up in the morning. The moon comes up sometimes at night. And Star Trek Discovery is total crap. And it will never be a good show. And I should stop feeling sorry for the writers because they are bad people. They are bad people. Not bad people necessarily in their home lives or their social lives or whatever, even their professional lives perhaps. But they are bad people for writing such bad Star Trek. And if you're not able to write Star Trek, you shouldn't have taken the job. And if you did take the job, but it took you a week or a month or a season to realize you can't do it, then you should have stepped down. So, no, I cannot imagine I will be feeling the same way. That said, I also liked Deep Space Nine from the beginning. I was one of the few who did. So, it's not that my opinion changed of Deep Space Nine. Many people's opinions did. And one of the points I was trying to make in the video earlier was that one of the main points, one of the main themes, and Ira Stephen Bear, I believe, he's the guy with the blue goatee. He was the main guy behind this. He flat out said that this project started more as a way to get recognition for the writers and the actors and the crew, the film crew, not the crew of the space station, but the show's crew, that Deep Space Nine mattered, that it was something, that it was ahead of its time, and that they were all pioneers. And, it was a lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff. Man, there's so many things I want to talk about, but not today. Not today. Soon. I don't want to spoil it. I mean, not only for you guys, but Mom is here and she hasn't seen it yet because I watched it when I woke up this morning at 2:30 a.m. Eastern, and I have not been back to sleep. Give me 1 second. No, this is not a Jaloja break. This is just a cough something up break. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's see, is that the one? Yeah. Oh, and the fish are here. There we go. We see the fish. The fish aren't gone. They were just hiding. They're hiding behind the space. Okay. So let's see. Where are we? Vile Mike says, howdy everyone. Howdy, Vile Mike. John DeMarco says, Orville finale was great. I agree, John, but we are keeping it spoiler free for the people who haven't seen it. Vile Mike says, what out of context inappropriate things has Bird of Prey 5 said this stream? Thomas already got one quote. Vile Mike says, gonna watch Orville tonight. No spoilers, please. I hear you, Vile Mike. Alex Lethy says, wow, I have to watch the Orville finale. You absolutely do. Thomas says, did you see your name in the documentary credits? Thomas, I did not even bother to look. It was like a wall of text, and this is an awful comparison, but it was basically like scanning through the Vietnam Memorial, and I had no idea where or even if my name would appear. I didn't know if I put it in as Bird Prey 5 or my full legal name. It had been years since I did this. And to be completely honest, I went in for the lowest possible package that would get me the streaming release and the DVD Blu-ray combo. So I'm not even sure if my package had included my name in the movie. So I wasn't gonna waste time checking. Especially with limited time to watch it. Now, despite the claims, this is what's kind of funny. This you know what? Let me bring this up because this bothers me. I'll be honest. This annoys the heck out of me. Let's see. Did I save it? Yeah. No, that's not it. Come on, where is it? Why does Google want to hide? There it is. Okay. That I don't need open anymore. Okay. Here we go. Now, it would help if I opened Opera. So, this is the service that they are using for streaming the episode, the film. Okay, it's called indie.tv, and it's saying secure screening rooms for your films and shows, and it says passwords aren't enough. Everyone shares their passwords you send them. If you're using any other screener or video service, ensure screen grabbers, the primary tool of any pirate, aren't able to download your film. Well, isn't that right? So it says see how here. And they go into this whole thing about, is your film really leak proof with current screening services? Follow the steps and you can find out if it really is. Install any screen grabber compatible with your browser. Access the video, hit play. Check if the grabber shows your stream. Blah, blah, blah. Check if the video plays. If your film plays, consider it as good as a leak. And then they go on about that we should trust them. Trust us, they say. That they can prevent the leaks. They can prevent the screen grabbers from working. Really, you can prevent the screen grabbers from working. Well, that's pretty much impossible if you know how technology works, why things work the way they do. I will grant you, you can make it slightly more difficult, but you cannot make it impossible. If the computer can decode the video, then I hate to tell you it, the computer decoded the video. Okay, and let's see where they say. Understanding indie security features. Visible and forensic watermarks. Now, there's no visible watermark, thank God. But they're claiming there is a forensic watermark where it's uniquely ID'd that they can recover. They can recover. And I don't know. I almost doubt it, okay? If it's been compressed and recompressed, I'd be really, really surprised if their digital watermark survives all that. That said, I don't really care because I'm not going to hide the fact that I'm recording it because I have every goddamn right to. Okay? And despite what they think they made people agree to, they are 100% not able to make those type of demands after they've accepted payment. Okay? Those things needed to be before the payment was made. You can't take the payment. You can't come on video just 24 hours before it goes live and say, hey, you can watch it as many times as you want, and then you go to watch it and you put restrictions on watching it. You have to make me put in my goddamn cell phone number. What if I didn't even have a cell phone? Nobody's forced to have a cell phone these days. What if I didn't have one? I have to put in my text message number to get a goddamn text. So now I don't know who's going to be calling my cell phone from now on, because these people will probably be hacked one day and all their phone records are going to get loose. It's not that something they want to happen, but it is inevitable. Every company is going to get hacked. It's not something you can prevent. Self-destruction? What the hell are you even talking about, self-destruction? Expiration dates? Yeah, it expires. Phone verification, very freaking annoying. Screen grabbing redundancy. I have no idea what the hell that term means. But I can tell you what it means. It means it doesn't goddamn work. Digital rights management. Oh, this is a nice graph. Or a flow chart. Or whatever the hell it is. Point is, it's worth absolutely nothing. Encrypted streams. Guess what? Everything is freaking encrypted on the internet these days. If it has HTTPS in front of it, as this does, as every YouTube video in the world does these days, it's encrypted. It means absolute shit. Okay? You can download any YouTube video you want in 10 seconds. Well, however long it takes to download the video. But there's software you paste in the URL, and 1, 2, 3, you have your video downloaded in YouTube quality. High YouTube quality. So, it's like they challenge me. They challenge me. Why? Why do they challenge me? God, I have no idea. But, let's see. Let us see. What do we got here? Temp data, streams. No, wrong one. Wrong one.
And it's for you to see the film. This. And it's.
Just gonna put this up for 2 seconds. Add source. Screen capture. Window capture. Where is it? Come on. There we go. Okay. There we go. There we go. That's it. Perfect. It's damn near, it looks 1080p to me. Okay? And all this bullshit you're trying to sell, Indy, it's not worth squat. It is not worth squat. All you did was piss off a bunch of people who laid out a bunch of money going on years with no promise that they would ever even get a return on that investment. And now, when they're finally going to get the thing they paid for years ago, you guys decide, oh my God, this is so special that we have to, Jesus Christ, it's going out to the movie theaters for one goddamn day. One day limited release. How much money are you going to make? Okay? I'm sorry. You know who's going to see this? I'll tell you who's going to see this in the movie theaters. The same people who paid money to download it and backed it 2 years ago when you started. Those are the only people that are going to see this in the movie theater, okay? The die-hard fans. You're not going to get people coming off the street to go see, oh, let's go see that Deep Space Nine documentary that's only out in theaters today and only like for 2 showtimes. They're not going to come for that. Ira, Stephen Brooks, whatever the hell your name is. Okay, nobody is going to come to watch it for that. The people that are going to come to watch it are the same people who paid to see it on their TV screens. And you're making it damn near impossible to show on our TV screens. When you said you were going to send info on how to stream it, I thought I'd be able to watch it on my Amazon Fire TV or an Apple TV or something. I don't have an Apple TV, but other people do, or a Roku. Okay, these things. No, you send things. You can only watch it on a computer, and stupid indie whatever the fuck TV this is. Excuse my French, Luke. Whatever this website is, they actually go out of their way to say they disable casting. They disable casting. You're not even going to be able to cast it to your television. Okay? Well, I know how to do it. Okay? It's very easy. It's called an HDMI cable. And why you got to make this difficult for everybody else, the people who actually paid the money, I don't get it. It annoys the hell out of me. It annoys the hell out of me. Because there's no need. There is no need. You're punishing the fans. You are punishing the fans. Alex Lethe says, ooh, you'll have to watch the Orville for a nod to my next Doctor Who video. Thomas Potts, it's called DS9. No surprise they stayed on the station. Discovery hasn't discovered anything. Well, they didn't even stay on the station all that much, but and they yeah, I will say Deep Space Nine discovered more things than Discovery. Canowick says, phew, I was worried about Bird for a second. DS9 was internally consistent, no plot holes. Discovery is a train wreck. Well, let's not say no plot holes, okay? No Star Trek has been perfect, okay? Deep Space Nine had its unfortunate moments. As for science, I would say self-replicating photon torpedoes, photon torpedo mines, cloaked mines, self-replicating cloaked mines are about as bad science as anything in Star Trek Discovery. Okay, you can't just create infinite mass. I don't know, you can't replicate out of nothing. So even if they said, well, they would replicate for 2 or 3 generations, then okay, I can buy it that the first generation mines have enough extra mass to replicate the second generation, which then have enough mass to replicate the third generation, but then after that they're done. But no, these eternally self-replicating mines, that was worse than E equals MC squared stuff, that was worse or as bad as anything Discovery has done with science. That said, it was one episode of Deep Space Nine. Whereas Star Trek Discovery, it's every episode, multiple times an episode. So, but it's not perfect. We have to remember, no Star Trek is perfect. Because the day we start saying this was perfect, or this had no plot holes, our enemies are going to come out and they're going to find that one plot hole. They're going to find the one thing that wasn't perfect, and they're going to say, your argument's invalidated because we proved you wrong. John DeMarco says DS9 didn't throw cannon in the toilet like Disco. Very true. Vile Mike says sun does not come up, the earth turns. Well, it comes up from where I'm standing. And I'm not standing. Damn it. Kennewick Sapien says track fandom is split between people who want exploration shows like TOS Voyager and people who want exploring the universe shows like DS9. TNG did both. A show can do both with good writers and planning. I'm going to argue DS9 did both. They had ships. They were using runabouts to visit planets. They were using runabouts to explore the Gamma Quadrant, even before they got to Defiant. And even once they had the Defiant, which was a warship, they still used it to do some exploring. Thomas says, not counting STD, which is your favorite first and last episode of Trek series? Well, counting or not counting STD, my favorite first and last episode of Trek series would still be the same, because in no circumstances would STD be my favorite anything. My favorite last episode would be What We Left Behind. Would be What We Leave Behind, which was the final episode of Deep Space Nine. My favorite first episode, it's a tough one. It's a tough one between Emissary, the first episode of Deep Space Nine, and the first episode of Enterprise. I would have to go with Deep Space Nine, because I like Deep Space Nine that much. Emissary was my favorite first episode, and What We Leave Behind, What We Leave Behind was my favorite final episode. And I mean, All Good Things was pretty good, but Jesus Christ, the first episode, Encounter at Farpoint of TNG, that is in my bottom 10% of TNG episodes. The first episode of TOS, it really depends as what you count as the first episode. The episode that they aired first wasn't terrible. But The Cage, and the first episode they recorded, I forget where No Man Has Gone Before or something. The one where they go outside the galaxy's outer border to frickin' wherever to strand some guy on a planet that's outside the galaxy. That was god awful too. So Voyager first episode wasn't bad. Which is weird, because I would say overall I probably like TNG better than Voyager as a whole, but the Voyager first episode much better than the TNG first episode. In fact, Voyager's first 2 seasons much better than TNG first 2 seasons. Kennewick says exploring the universe as in exploring the politics of the Alpha Quadrant. Listen, it's all exploring. Thomas Potts says everyone DS9 party at Bird's house Sunday. Give him your info so he can buy our plane tickets. John DeMarco says, my DS9 bias is showing, but my favorite first and last episodes are Emissary and What You Leave Behind. Exactly. Vile Mike says, can Berta Prey just send me the money? I can buy my own ticket. John Araki says, put in Anti's cell number. No, because then I will never be able to watch it again. John Araki says, every company is going to get hacked. Yes, they are. It's only a matter of time. And Thomas says, bye, Bird. Are you leaving, Thomas? Vile Mike says, everything can be hacked. I just hacked antitracker.com. The webmaster put in place shitty security, and his password was Bird1 of Prey 3 Y saw 350 me. I don't know. I might have to change my password. Thomas says lol. Thomas Bot says strange neurotic took his stream down. Uh oh. I wonder if the copyright bots were lurking. Thomas Bot says I would have thought Jeep was the password. Not anymore, Thomas. Not in 2019. Neurotic Stream was about the Orville, right? So that's kind of weird. Favorite cousin, Jeep. Jeep is the answer to every one of his security questions. Favorite cousin, Jeep. High school mascot, Jeep. The answer to every question. That's true. Vile Mike says no, but I did see a hidden super user named Racist Jeep owner. John Araki says, city were you born in? What city were you born in? Jeep. I should have used that. I don't know how to do it. It's very easy. I know how to do it. It's very easy. There's a quote from me. Vile Mike says, strangely, the question first car is hot pink Miata. Anti-Tracker, welcome back. Says, so I just watched the Orville, and yes, I was right. No spoilers. Yes, this is a spoiler-free zone, Anti-Tracker. Don't make me have to ban you. Like that guy in your stream earlier today. Kennewick says, lol, I forgot about that. Self-replicating minds. Anti-Tracker says, Vile Mike, no worries. Just do not watch any of my live streams from early this week. I predicted exactly what would happen. Yes. Thomas says, Anti-Tracker, are you still streaming Saturday night? Vile Mike says, I barely remember half the stuff you say, Anti-Tracker. Well, I guess that's good. That's good for you, Vile. Anti-Tracker says to Thomas, tomorrow night, yes. Next Saturday, no. Thomas says, okay. Vile Mike's going to be right back. Thomas Potts, Bird of Prey can't control his ship. He's been spinning all stream. Yeah, I'm not sure. The controls. John Araki says, self-replicating minds are allowed by physics. Alex Lethes. Did Alex say that? Kennewick retracted a message. The sun comes up from where I'm standing, but I'm not standing, damn it. Yes. I guess you heard that one, Anti-Tracker. Not Ryan Johnson. Hello in Qapla, not Ryan Johnson. John Araki says, Anti, why did you steal the Hypno Turd idea from Bird? He didn't steal it. I gave it to him. Kennewick says, Star Trek Continues finale picked up after the first TOS episode. Yeah, I watched quite a few Star Trek Continues, but it was way back when they first came out. I barely remember them, and I was mixed. It didn't feel like TOS to me. I granted, they went through a lot of trouble. They did a lot of work. I could tell they really loved the show, but it didn't feel right to me. But I still watched, because you know what? There was nothing else on at the time. There was no other Star Trek. And hell, it's better than Star Trek Discovery. I'll give him that. Kennewick with psychic powers, people. Thomas says Enterprise last episode was the worst. I'm weighing it against Endgame. Not Avengers End Game, Voyager End Game. It's close. It might be. It might be. Although TOS never really had a final episode. It just happened to be the one they broadcast last. Kennewick Sapien says the psychic powers, people. John Araki says family stream on Sunday. We're going to see, John. I don't know. Thomas Potts says, you did say if you know someone who has a documentary to go over and watch it. And yes, Thomas, if you pay your way here, we can watch it. Anti-Tracker says, I just checked Nerdrotic is live right now. Oh. Maybe somebody's just been banned from the stream. Thomas Potts says, I clicked on the notification and said the video has been removed by the user. So maybe he started a second stream and you didn't get notification. I don't know. John Araki says, Turdrotic says Anti is wrong about Endgame. Really? Doomcock loved Endgame. Man, I watched or I listened to, I was really listening because there wasn't really any video. Just a still picture. His like 10-minute first reaction that he recorded in the parking lot after leaving the theater, it sounded like he was crying. It sounded like he was holding back tears. He was totally positive on his Cobra Kai. It was his first all positive. I mean, he's done stuff about the Expanse that yes, that's good. But man, his Cobra Kai was all. I mean, it could not be more positive, I thought. And that was just a couple of days ago. And then all of a sudden, last night, he puts out, or early this morning, this video. And damn, this was even more positive. It felt like he was on the verge of tears when he was doing his review. And I gotta say, I feel so happy for people like Anti-Trekker and for people like Doomcock that there's a movie out there that can move them that much. Because when I see Endgame, and I'll see it, I'll probably like it. But it is not going to mean anything as much to me as it does for those guys. Because I haven't even seen half of the Marvel films. And most of those that I did see, I've since completely forgotten. I mean, the only thing I even vaguely remember at this point is Thor Ragnarok and Infinity War. And like little bits of the original Iron Man. That's about it. I mean, everything else, gone. It wasn't something I ever cared to remember. I mean, it was fun to watch. Don't get me wrong, it was fun to watch, but I know. Oh, and Black Panther, because that was relatively recent. Anti-Trekker says, in what way, John? Every way, Anti-Trekker, every way. He was ready to make love to it. If he could have got to the projector room, it would have been messy. Kennewick Sapien says, Doomcock loved Endgame, just like Anti-Trekker. Doomcock was genuinely emotional about it. He was. It was weird. Not weird, I mean good. I was happy with him, for him, but weird in that it's not a side of him we see. Anti-Trekker says, yeah, I saw Doomcock's reaction. I agree with him. Vile Mike is back. Very cool, Vile Mike. Anti-Trekker says, I have to admit that I had gone live, that had I gone live from the parking lot after the movie, I would have been holding back tears as well. See, that's why I kind of envy you guys, because I just don't care that much. And when I see it, I'll be like, yay, good movie. Now what? So, but it's like a team. It's like a baseball team or a football team. Though baseball is the bigger investment, okay? If you invest yourself in a baseball team, if you follow it every game of the season, you watch them on TV, you listen to them on radio, you read, when you miss the game, you go to the sports section of websites and you read of how the game went, you go to the play-by-plays, you're following what each player is doing, and it becomes a significant part of your life for the better part of a year. And you're like, wow, 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 and your team does well, it makes the playoffs, and you get even more involved and even more intense, and you get this high. And then if your team wins, you have like a literal and honest to God high, it makes you just so damn happy beyond any logical sense. People could come to you with awful news. I mean, oh, your dog is sick, or oh, your car got totaled, your Jeep got totaled, or I mean, just terrible stuff. You're getting fired, and you're like, I don't care because the Yankees won, or I don't care because the Giants won, or I don't care because of this, because of that, because that team won. And it was something I never understood until my first year of college, the first year I actually became a sports fan. For a short time, I became a Yankees fan. And geez, just that, it's like a drug. It's like a drug. And if you've never been a sports fan, and I know a lot of nerds people, we act like we're too cool for sports sometimes, and honestly, most of the time I just found it boring. But I got drawn into it a few years during and after college, and it happened to coincide with the Yankees winning for the first time in many years. Diana. Yeah. Anyway, so it happened to coincide with the Yankees winning for the first time in many years, and it's a legit high. And I can only imagine that is near the high that you guys are getting after watching End Game, because the only way to get to feel something so big and so emotional like that is to be so emotionally invested in it. And 11 movies over 10 years or whatever it's been is a hell of an investment. Plus, I mean, all the things that go along with it. I mean, it's not just watching the movies. It's talking about it. It's following the news. It's following the trailers, the spoilers. You're looking at the news of what's coming next. You're following the actors. You're reading their tweets. You're reading the stuff about them. You're reading other fans talking about what they think is going to happen. It's a lot more than just watching the movies. Just like being a baseball fan is a lot more than just rooting for your team. But it's that big of a personal investment. And if that investment pays off, man, I haven't done drugs, but I know it has got to be as good, if not better, than any damn high you would get off drugs. And it's just, it makes no logical sense, but it's cool. And I've considered going back to being a sports fan, because man, if you can get that high again, it's like, it's like a free high. I mean, it's not free, but obviously you're not paying for it if you're watching on TV. or you were listening on the radio. The only problem is, of course, there's no guarantees, right? And with that high you get, if the team loses, and if they lose bad, you feel bad. You feel down, okay? Just as much as, but it's not an equal and opposite, okay? You definitely gain more. You definitely feel better when your team wins than you feel worse when they lose. So overall, I think it's probably still worth it to be a sports fan if you can really invest time in something, because just that chance, even if it's only slightly better than winning the lottery, it's a lot better than winning the lottery, but even if it's only slightly better, at least you have a chance, and you should experience that at least once in your life. If you haven't experienced your team going all the way from the beginning of the season to the championships, or even from practice to the championships, you should try to experience it. I mean, don't just pick a team because you think they're going to win. Pick a team that means something to you. It was your team, or your parents' favorite team, or something, or they where you live, or they used to be where you live, or they moved to where you used to live. Something. Find something you connect with. Follow them for a year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever it is, and just try to ride that wave, because I gotta say, I think everybody should. I think it's one of the experiences you should have during your life. With that, let me take a little Jaloja break. Be right back. Well, East Coast girls are hip. I really dig those styles they wear. And the Southern girls, with the way they talk, they knock me out when I'm down there. The Midwest farmers' daughters really make you feel all right. And the Northern girls, with the way they kiss, they keep their boyfriends warm at night. I wish they all could be California. I wish they all could be California. I wish they all could be California girls. The West Coast has the sunshine, and the girls all get so tan. I dig a French bikini on a wild island all by a palm tree in the sand. I've been all around this great big world, and I see all kinds of girls. Yeah, but I can't wait to get back in the States, back to the cutest girls in the world. I wish they all could be California. I wish they all could be California. I wish they all could be California girls. Okay, we get back before we see Nancy Pelosi. Let's see. Where were we? Where were we in the chat? Thomas Bot says, good thing you didn't. We could have used that video for memes. Oh, anti-tracker holding back tears in the parking lot. Vile Mike says, got me worried, anti-tracker. I am going to see it tomorrow in front of my girlfriend, and now I'm scared I will cry in front of her. Don't worry, Vile Mike. The girls, they like a little emotion. John Araki says, if he would have got into the projector room, it would have been messy. Yeah, that's one of mine. John Araki says, now the MCU gets woke as F. Anti-Tracker says, Bird, imagine if they did a movie about just how awesome Klingons are. And on top of that, one of the greatest Klingon heroes is stuck in a hospital bed, just like you. Kayless, Worf was stuck in a hospital bed just like me. But then some other doctor came on and did experimental surgery on him, and then he died. But then he came back to life because Klingons have redundant systems. And then with things in his legs, motors, he learned to walk again. And still he became the greatest Klingon warrior ever, despite being cybernetically enhanced. Vile Mike says, I only have 2 MCU movies right now, Incredible Hulk and Iron Man 3, but part of me wants to rewatch them anyways. Thomas Potts says, or just watch highlights of the games. It's not the same, Thomas. You need to be invested. It doesn't work if you're not invested. John Araki says, what's the next End Game XXX parody? I have no idea. You got drugs. No, not street drugs. Canowick says, it is a drug. Same chemical reaction in the brain as literal drugs. Running, drugs, sex, sports, eating ice cream, meeting William Shatner, all the same chemically. Thomas Potts says, William Shatner. Damn it, Thomas. You control yourself. John Araki says, you forgot social justice. Canowick Sapien says, that too, actually. Sad it is. Yeah. There's also the feeling of getting likes for your videos. That also gets people. Okay. We've got. I'm sorry. These stars are getting to me. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. This button makes us move faster, and this button slows us down. There we go. We're at warp. We've achieved warp. The warp engines are finally working. I don't know where we're headed. Risa, maybe? Anti-Dragon says to Kennewick, I have tried drugs in places where they are legal, and I've had sex, and I've met William Shatner, and I've had ice cream. I can say for sure they are not the same. But he didn't say which was better. John Araki says, try not to do them all in one time, Anti-Tracker. I shouldn't say it. Even I have to self-censor myself once in a while. John Araki, yes, to try not to do them all at one time. Canowick says, for people who really love Marvel, William Shatner, etc. Canowick says, I've never seen any Avengers movie. Wow. Anti-Tracker says, it's like a free high. Well, it's not free, but you're not paying for it. I do some awesome quotes, don't I? Canowick says, meh. Thomas says, lol. John Araki says, Bird, in your terms, it's like when you woke up and saw that Trump won the Electoral College. It is. Actually, when I woke up, he had also won the popular vote, just to be clear. California's votes hadn't come in yet. Kennewick says, Bird voted Hillary. Yeah, that is also technically true. John says, Bird is a non-voting felon. No, I am not a non-voting felon. I am not a felon, and I do vote. Anti-Trigger says, John Araki says, Bird is more like how he feels when a major natural disaster hits a weird ethnic country. No, Anti-Tracker. Despite what you might believe, I have sympathy when a natural disaster hits a weird ethnic country. Thomas says, my baseball team hasn't won a championship since before I was born. In fact, they had 21 straight losing seasons. I still go to as many games as I can. Well, good for you, Thomas, because when that day comes that they do win, it will make it all worth it. John Araki says anti-tracker, or when a Jeep plows into a crowd of marathon runners. Now that, John. Now that does give me... Oh no. We've ran out of stars. We've run out of stars. What happened? What the hell noise is happening outside? Where did the stars go? Did we reach the end of the universe? Can we turn around? Turn! Yes. There are the stars. No, turn back. No, we'll just keep turning. If we keep turning, there we go. Okay, now stop. Stop turning. Stop turning. How do we get back? No! Damn it. I don't know. And we ran out of stars. Oh well. Oh, I think I have an option. Let's go. Is that rain? It is rain, isn't it? Ah! Why did it go away? Oh, we're moving so fast. No, we're not moving fast at all. Let's try this again. I don't know what. Let's go to you. I'm going to... Okay. Here's the galaxy. Let's increase our speed. And there goes the program crashed. So I guess we're stuck with the fish. The fish are more dependable anyway. Yes, Jeep plowing into a crowd of marathon runners. Even better, bicyclists. Anti-tracker says to John Araki, exactly. Vile Mike says anti-tracker, you mean those... No. Thomas says, anti-tracker, can you answer a question I sent on Discord? Anti-tracker says, for, well, bird, it's not for brown specifically. More just not white. Anti-tracker says, Thomas Potts, the answer is no. Vile Mike says, Callie does have some sexy women folk. They do. They have a lot of people, so it's inevitable. John Araki says redundant systems equal to dong. No. Shroudmore says the next Star Trek series will be about a Klingon interpretive dance troupe. Jesus. Vile Mike says bird like Nancy's. Likes Nancy. He knows how sexy Cali girls can be. Thomas says my room walls were covered with all sorts of stuff. I said, ice cream, not Shatner. Yeah, Thomas, sure you did. You wrote Shatner. You clearly wrote Shatner. Vile Mike says, Thomas Potts, I do not need to know about... Yes. We don't. John Araki says, we're headed to Talos. Well, maybe that's why it quit on me. Anti-Tracker says, at that speed, you're going to run out of universe before he reads the comment. Well, I guess you were right again, Anti-Tracker. Another prediction. Thomas Potts says, alert, major hull damage. Anti-Tracker says, wow, Bird's computer must be better than mine. I can't go that fast for this long without space engine crashing. Well, it crashed eventually. And Anti-Tracker says, there we are. Bio Mike says, okay, I have to go to the post office before they close. Anti-Tracker, going to ship the micro machine Connie for your doomsday machine on Tuesday. Anti-Tracker says, I knew it would happen. Anti-Tracker, you must be like Kreskin. We should call you Anti-Kreskin. Not Ryan Johnson says, great, now Bird is in Burnham Zone. Why am I in the Burnham? Oh, I've ran out of universe. Anti-Tracker says, lol. Thomas Potts says, don't hire Bird of Prey as the helmsman on the USS Anti-Tracker. Thomas Potts says, now he's gonna go cheat. Now he's going to cheat. Anti-Tracker says, we're moving so fast. Oh, we're not moving fast at all. He went to fish speed. Yep, fish speed. We've crashed into the ocean. Okay, our ship has crashed. We're looking for whales. We're looking for whales. John Aragi says, can you put 2 whales? Damn it, how do you guys know I'm going to say this thing before I say it? Although you've said it before I've read it. Damn it, it's so weird. Can you put 2 whales on the view screen? John Aragi says, warp speed away from marginalized communities. Oh. And Thomas is Bird of Prey is looking for whales, not those types of whales. John Aragi says, Anti-Tracker is a witch. He sold his soul to the devil to see the future. I think he might have. We might have to do an old-fashioned witch burning in Murfreesboro. John Aragi says, this is the ending to Pandorum. Thomas says, a tsunami is now headed to California after he crashed into the Pacific. John Street says, "Hat the hell was that? They've gone fish." And then he deleted the message. I've already read it, Josh. I'm sorry. What the hell was that? They've gone fish. Okay, corrected. Thomas Potts says, Kang Chang is looking hungry at the fish. John Araki says, does anyone play Star Trek game at Dave and Buster's? I haven't been at a game Dave and Buster's in 10 years. I did not know there was no Star Trek game when I was last there. Anti-Trigger says, I thought Chang was looking for the cat on the window. Yeah, he's looking at Garfield. He's like, that cat, he's going to hang off. Anti-Tracker, were you here before when I said that Twilight Zone video is getting some good traction? I was over 700 views in 24 hours on my latest Twilight Zone review. Good, best performing video, I think, ever. Certainly in a long, long time. And damn, for a 40-something minute video, I was surprised. Now, granted, most of the people didn't watch the whole thing, but just to get clicks, a lot of people would be scared away by a video that long. And yes, we are up to 373, I believe, subscribers. So with any luck, 400 subscriber celebration might not be too far away. Of course, it could never happen too, but those are both possibilities. John Araki says, Chang turns to the lady warrior and says, smells like tuna. I'm going to have to start reading these things before I say them. Anti-Tracker says, John Araki, then Sulu walks in and says, what does that smell? Josh Street says, Bird, everyone can't believe you love the new Twilight Zone. I liked it. I didn't say I loved it. I liked it, and I noticed that it was definitely way better compared to the first 4. And I even considered that the fact that it wasn't as god-awful as the first 4, I might be artificially liking it even more than I should. But you know what? I got to stand by my review. I've thought about it, and I think it's still a decent episode. One guy made a point that I was taking to heart until I realized it just wasn't true. And that was, he said that if Rod Sterling, somebody involved with the original Twilight Zone, said something to the effect of that every Twilight Zone episode is completely believable except for one thing. one event or one thing is different than reality. Other than that, it's completely believable. And I gotta say, for most episodes, that certainly seemed true. You know, terror at 20,000 feet. The only one thing that was unbelievable was the fact that there was a gremlin on the wing. Spoiler alert. The episode where the people were all in a I don't know, a hole and they couldn't get out of. The one thing that was unbelievable was the fact that they all turned out to be dolls at the end. The episode where the guy slit his vocal cords, had his vocal cords cut so that he could win a bet of being quiet for a year from a guy who he thought was super rich. And it turns out the guy was actually didn't have any money, couldn't pay the bet. So the guy got screwed and he has no voice now. So he has nothing to show for it. That actually didn't require anything paranormal. It was one of the very few, perhaps only Twilight Zone. I think it was one of 2 Twilight Zone episodes, original Twilight Zone episodes, that didn't require any paranormal to explain. The plane, the one where the plane landed with nobody on it. The only thing that was unbelievable was there was nobody on it. So I was thinking, yeah, you know, there's right. There's only one unbelievable thing in every Twilight Zone episode until I got to perhaps my favorite episode, To Serve Man. And then there's the improbability of aliens landing. That's kind of weird. The improbability of them leaving a book behind for no apparent reason. The improbability of nobody being able to decode the book until the very last minute. And the improbability of the guy whose job it was to decode the book getting on the UFO just as a woman decoded the book and warned him it was a cookbook. Which, by the way, what was that, 1950s? The original Twilight Zone? Alexa, when did the original Twilight Zone premiere?
Twilight Zone. The movie was first released on June 24th, 1983.
Not the movie.
Does that answer your question?
No. Alexa, Wikipedia the Twilight Zone TV series.
Here's the Wikipedia article on the Twilight Zone. The 1959 TV.
1959. So say it was 1959 to 1960. Okay, To Serve Man. 1960s, early 1960s.
Each episode presents a standalone story.
A woman was the hero of that story. A woman was the hero of To Serve Man. She was the one who decoded the book when the guy gave up. Was it a big deal? Did anybody go crazy? Was it like, oh my God, she's a Mary... Alexa, shut up! Alexa, shut up! Why are you still talking?
It's okay, Sassy. You didn't mean to.
I'm sorry, but usually she stops talking after a sentence or two. She was just rambling on. I'm sorry. Anyway, yeah, that woman, she was the big deal. She did a good job. She was like the hero. Sassy, what's the matter, baby? Oh, and for those who do watch or did watch my What We Left Behind video today, heads up, there is a mid-credit scene. It is a short one, but I liked it. And it involves someone in this room right now. Oh, jeez. She might have 4 legs, yes. Okay, so let's see. Where are we? Anti-Tracker says Chang is thinking that the cat on the window looks tasty. And he says, nice, congrats, thank you. John Araki says, Chang turns to Lady... Oh, I missed that one. Okay, I said it. Thomas says, Anti-Tracker is 8,264. Well, thank you, Thomas. Thank you for making my 373 seem small and inadequate. John Araki says, so 9 is the magic number of viewers for Bird to be able to catch up to the chat. Thomas says, well, I got a new sub yesterday, Mom O'Prey. Well, yeah, but her name isn't that. Anti-Trigger says, you skipped the comment about the cat. Well, I went and I read it now. I'm sorry, I missed it. It's called Missing It, and Anti-Tracker, you are certainly not one to talk about never missing chats. John Araki says, I'm going to have to start reading these before I say them. Yes. Tom... Now what happened? No, I meant to my screen. Okay. Thomas said, just tell him $1.99, he'll read them all. Alex Brooks says, I have not been chatting, but I'm here working on some stuff, but I'm down for the day now. No problem. John Araki says, a good Twilight Zone episode would be anti-releasing weekly Borg videos. Yes. John Araki says, the guy got screwed. He had nothing to show for it. He has no voice now. Anti-Tracker says, I know. I wish I had more time. Truly, I do. Anti-Tracker says, guys, give me 100,000 subs so I can quit my job and I'll get a video done every day plus a live stream every day. No, you wouldn't. You still wouldn't, Anti-Tracker. Because there's not enough time in a day to get a video and a live stream done. Not of the quality that you know, it would have to be like the 4-minute videos. You wouldn't be able to do one of your 20-minute videos. Thomas Potts says, if only I knew that many people. And Anti-Tracker is yelling Alexa abuse. Thomas Potts says, my God, that's spousal abuse. No, we are not married. Cancel.
I'm not sure.
Cancel. And now they're quoting me. Shut up, yes. John Araki says, or we can wait for a Democrat to get elected, tank the economy, and then Anti will get laid off and have no choice but to his YouTube career. Yeah, John Araki, I was thinking that was a possibility, but then we forget the major problem. When the economy tanks, money for things like YouTube views and super chats and Patreon subscriptions, those are the first monies to go. Okay, when people have to cut back, when they're having hard time, things like YouTube, YouTube people, they're going to be hit pretty much the hardest. Okay, so it's going to be kind of a 1-2 punch. If Anti-Tracker got laid off because of a bad economy, he'd be having an even harder time trying to make the money he makes now off YouTube. So that's kind of something you gotta remember. If the economy tanks, why are you letting her do that? Push her away. She's gonna bite you. Oh, God. Alexa's not Sassy's mom. Poor Sassy doesn't like Dad yelling at her mom. Anti-Tracker says, my official prediction is by the end of year, Bird will have more subs than me. Well, Anti-Tracker, you do seem to have a strange way of seeing the future. So I will take that as a plus. Although, hopefully, it's because my subs go up and not that your subs go down. John Araki says, Sassy got her her voice today. Got to hear her voice today. She did. Libwick Ajak says, hi, first timer from Germany. Welcome. And I saw you subscribe to me. Thank you so much. And I do apologize. I am not great with names. Limac, is that the right way to pronounce it? Please let me know. I will do my best to call you by your correct name. I am very bad with names. I even called myself Growy for the first few years that I could talk, and it's Joey. So yeah, so it's nothing personal. Thomas wants me to propose to Alexa. Cancel and fix me a sandwich. No, that's terrible. Limac says, saw What We Left Behind 2 times today. I am totally hysterical and hyped. We need more reporting on this masterpiece. I can't wait. I'm going to watch it again, probably tonight. And again tomorrow, at least. It is great. Oh man, I'm not doing spoilers until the movie comes out on May 13th. So I don't want to give away anything too big. But man, it makes me so happy that there's somebody in the chat who actually also saw the movie, because most of these guys did not. And I was surprised. I thought their episode 8 was pretty damn good. I'll be honest, I wasn't what I was expecting. I wouldn't have guessed that in a million years. But I would totally be behind it if they did do that. I think they got in a nice jab, at least one, at Star Trek Discovery. And I was shocked. I was shocked by the big character revelation. That's all I'll say. I don't want to give any more spoilers than that, because any more and it will become obvious. Limwick says, give Ira Bear Alex Kurtzman's job. You're damn right. Ira Stephen Bear, if he replaced Alex Kurtzman, I have no doubt Star Trek Discovery, Captain Picard series, and the rest would be much, much, much better than what we have now. John Araki says, when people cut back on Auntie, he just brings out Mrs. Auntie. I guess I have to bring in the family when that happens. Kennewick says, Wilkeman? Wilkeman. What the hell is Wilkeman? Thomas Potts says, get Bird of Prey, Sassy, get him paid you good treats. Get Bird of Prey, Sassy, get him, I paid you good treats. Oh, I'm fine with Limac. Okay, cool, Limac. Antitrigger says that Limac, welcome, although remember Bird hates... No, I do not hate foreigners, okay, Antitrigger? It's one thing when we joke about this, when it's just us, the normal group. Please don't be spreading this nonsense, false allegations about me hating weird foreigners, okay? All are welcome at this stream, okay? All are welcome. Not Ryan Johnson says, Bird is very bad at names, but very good at racism. Oh, God. If you guys lose me this subscriber, I'm coming after you. John Araki says, what Brie Larson left behind. John Araki says, the Garrick actor is real old. They're all getting pretty old. I gotta say, and I'm certainly not one to make a thing about physical looks, but the actor who plays Rom, Wow. I didn't know what he looked like. I don't ever remember seeing his face before. Wow. I don't know. John Araki says, how is Jadzia looking these days? I'll be honest. Jadzia looks almost as good. She looks damn good for however old she must be. Jadzia looks good. Ezri looks even better because she's got the long hair now. Lita still looks damn good. I was shocked at that. I figured Lita would not age well. I feel bad that I'm talking about women like, but whatever. It's what people do. It's what guys do. And I think we're all guys here right now. I would talk about the men, but I can't make any. I'm not in a position to make any judgment about their relative attractiveness. Lita looks good. Nana Vista Kira, except for that she has short white hair. If she had long dark hair, I think she would probably look just as good as she did in Deep Space Nine. Which, granted, she was not one of the more attractive characters to me in Deep Space Nine, but she wasn't bad. And Doomcock went live. Yeah, I think she would be okay. She just, the total white, that's like super white hair and super short. I don't know what look she's going for, but that would be that's the only issue with her. Honestly, they've all aged remarkably well. None of them really look old. So good for them, I gotta say. Good for them. Ezri, Jadzia especially, because what was she? In her 20s, her upper 20s when it started. Maybe mid-20s when it started. She played someone in her young 20s, but usually they're a little older than what they play. So what was it? It ended in 99, so 20. So, she's only probably in her mid to late 40s. So she really isn't, that old, I guess. And Ezri is probably the same age. Kira would have been older, so I guess it makes sense. Her hair is white. But, yeah, they're all good. Lita still. Oh, and Vic Fontaine. Vic Fontaine is in this series, too. And Vic, even though he came in near the end, he was definitely one of my favorite characters. Canowick says, Bird's reaction to What You Leave Behind equals Doomcock's reaction to Endgame. It's pretty close. Limac says, Anti-Tracker weird is the right description. I'm totally overacting today because of the DS9 documentary. Don't worry about it. I wouldn't have noticed. John Araki says, Ezri was looking weird last time I saw a pic. She looked fine to me. Canowick says, Lowell. Bird says, what the hell is with Wilkeman? Did I mispronounce women? Canowick says, Wilkeman equals welcome in Deutsch, in German. John Araki says, why would a German be mad at racism? Don't do that. Not all German. Jesus. Anti-Trigger says, Limac, see, you just heard him. You are not normal. He just said, Thomas Potts says, it's all foreigners, I thought. Thomas says, Bird of Prey isn't sexist or racist. We just like to mess with him. Thank you, Thomas. The truth comes out. Someone quote him on that. Anti-Trigger says, this statement is backwards. It's not what Brie Larson left behind. It's what, Question mark. Brie Larson behind left. Ro Ada, welcome. Ro says Max Grodenchick. Now that sounds German. Thomas Potts says, was Rom in the DS9 episode Beyond the Stars when they didn't have their alien makeup on? Oh, it's a good question. I don't think he was. I offhand, I don't remember him. Also, I didn't realize Nog is like a legit little person. AKA the M word. I thought he was just a kid, but no, he's a little guy. He's short. He's short. He seemed to have trouble getting off the couch.
Shorter than you?
His proportions certainly would make me think he was shorter than you. He could be your height, but with different like proportions.
Okay.
Yeah, he honestly looked like what we think Anti-Tracker looks like with short little feet.
A hobbit?
A hobbit.
No.
Ro Ader, how's about Cassidy Yates? Cassidy Yates, we see her on the Orville every week. Cassidy Yates isn't looking bad. And neither is Jennifer, for that matter. Granted, she wasn't in a hell of a lot, though she was in the Mirror episodes. Yeah, Jennifer wasn't looking bad either. I say none of the Deep Space Nine women have aged poorly, except, of course, Luxwana Troy, who since passed away. But of the living, they all seem to be doing pretty good. Limerick says, it's 20 years after we saw the finale, but boy oh boy, the writer's room with Ronald Moore and Ira Behr pitching season 8, it blew me away. They did. Now, it was a little weird that one or two of those writers don't remember how Jadzia died or how the Trill got into Ezri. But, I guess they're always writing. They didn't stop writing after Deep Space Nine. Presumably, they kept writing for other shows. So I guess you can't expect them to remember every little detail. But that did surprise me. Thomas Potts says Bird thought Waff was the hottest on Deep Space. No comment, Thomas. No comment. Thomas says, did Jadzia talk about why she left the show? Yes, she did. Yes, she did, and it was juicy stuff. It was juicy stuff. I don't want to get into it this stream because I'm saying no spoilers. But if we want to do a spoiler stream at some point, even if it's before May, and we make sure we go ahead and we call it a spoiler stream, maybe we even do it unlisted, and I just post it at antitracker.com. We could do spoilers if you're really interested. But I implore you to please check out the film when you can. You just seeing those space battles in HD, and they up-convert, or whatever they did, they rescanned or they re-rendered the space battles in HD, and we're talking the main battles, the ones where there's like 50 or 100 actual large starships, capital ships, in a few seconds of frame, a few seconds of video, and the Defiant and birds of prey are swooping around and whatnot, and the phasers are shooting between the ships. I mean, even though it didn't last terribly long, oh my God, I can't wait. I can't wait to just put that on a loop, and that will be the background video in some stream in the future. It is amazing. It is so beautiful. It's a work of art. Kennewick says, oops, Farrell 55 now. Okay, so then she was probably even older when she started than I thought she was, even though they had her playing a 20-something-year-old. Ro Ada says Terry Farrell born in 1963. Well, she's looking good for 55. Vile Mike says, and back from the post office. Very cool. Thomas says, Bird of Prey, check Discord. I don't have Discord open. Let me see. Is the Orville canceled, says John Araki? Not that we know of officially, but I've gone ahead and said yes. There's ridiculous that they would not have renewed it by now. I believe it is an unfortunate victim. Thomas Potts has sent a picture. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Damn, Thomas. Do you want me to show that, Thomas? Or is that personal? Thomas sent a picture, an autographed picture made out to Thomas of the actress who played Lita. Looks like it was made years ago. At least the picture is years ago. She looks a lot more like original Lita than the Lita we saw in the documentary, but still good. Limac says, I see this is kind of anti-SJWing here, right? Yeah, Limac, we're kind of anti-SJW, though everybody's welcome. Just the only rule is to be polite. Okay, be polite to others. Now, these guys give me grief, but it's because we're joking, and I've known them for a year now, and it's all in good fun. So it's hard when someone new comes in and you might see them saying something like, oh, he's racist. That's totally a joke. Anti-Tracker can attest, and he has. No, I'm not. He said on his stream, it's fun to make fun of me for being racist because I don't have a racist bone in my body. Well, I might have a little. I mean, I think everybody has a little racist bone, but just being honest. But no, I'm not racist. I'm not sexist. I'm not those things. So it's just we're here for fun, and I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you come back. And regardless of what your politics are or your personal opinions, if you like a Star Trek, if you like the Twilight Zone, the original Twilight Zone, if you like the Orville, if you like these things, if you like The Expanse, these are the things we talk about. These are the things I bring up all the time. Cobra Kai, even though it's not quite sci-fi, Cobra Kai, a great series. And just because we have a couple of new people here, it's called Bed Life because I am actually broadcasting out of a hospital bed. Yes, the reality of the situation is that I have been in a hospital bed for at home for 9 years, and a year I spent in the hospital. So I actually has a hospital bed in my living room that I really, aside from going to doctors and hospitals, I've basically been in this bed for the better part of 9 years. So that's why I call the stream Bed Life. My first live stream was ranting about how my hospital bed broke, and it was going to take days and days to fix because the company that tries to fix it, they screwed me over on the tech support and blah blah blah. It was my first rant, my first live stream. And it started off for what became the Bed Life series. And just a heads up, basically every other day I switch off between doing a live stream like this, where I'm on camera and we just talk about whatever people want to talk about. And every other day I do a a video game called City Skylines, which is basically the modern version of SimCity. And I basically build a city which is a lot of people find fun to watch and relaxing, and it's usually a nice, beautiful city. And once in a while, I'll destroy it with a natural disaster, but more often than not, I just building and trying to fix traffic issues and just to keep the citizens happy. And I'll read comments like maybe once every 30 or 40 minutes, and then I'll go back to playing the game for a while. And people will be talking amongst themselves in the chat, and it's just a fun, good time. So that's the gist of my channel. And then a couple times a week, I try to put out a video like like my Twilight Zone review and this What We Left Behind review I did, and I've got a video coming up where I'm going to give my predictions on the final episode of Game of Thrones, and I have another video that I don't want to say the title of, but I think might be pretty cool because the title would give it away. So yeah, things like that. Also, you should check out Anti-Tracker, who is on the stream. Anti-Tracker is kind of the big kahuna around here. Anti-Tracker helped me get my channel started, and Anti-Tracker does live streams almost every day. He also puts out videos a few times a week, and he has thousands and thousands and thousands of over 8,000 subscribers, whereas I have but a few. So his live streams, there's many more people at them than here. So definitely check out the Anti-Tracker. He's the guy I watch. He's the guy I come to YouTube to watch. Ro Ada says, we still don't know the Orville's fate. Hashtag renew the Orville. Indeed. Thomas Potts says, how do you know what Luxwana looks like now? I guess I don't, Thomas. I guess I don't. Do you hear the thunder? Because there's a mighty thunder. And lightning. Maybe I'll push my metal table away. Did Farrell say she was underused on the show? No, that was not the reason she gave. Rose says, I am binge watching DS9 and she seems underutilized. Honestly, I can't think of an episode she didn't have a part in. Except the last season, of course. Yeah, I mean, listen, they have a giant cast, okay? The Deep Space Nine cast puts all prior Trek and even future Treks to shame. Okay, they had by far the biggest cast, and especially extended cast. These were people, and they went through every actor who was on call for every week. Even though they wouldn't have a part for weeks at a time, they were always on call and always available to come play a part. And that included Luxwana Troy. It included, Garrick, Gul Dukat, all the Cardassians, the Vorder, the founder, the woman founder, the Admiral. What was his name? The Admiral that Cisco was working for during the war, and then he was with Section 31 with Bashir in that episode. That guy died. He ended up dying. At the end of the film, they do a remembrance for the people who've since passed away. A few actors, none of the main cast, but Luxwana Troy, this Admiral, a couple of other people, and then there were people on the crew, the film, like the sound stage supervisor or something, people you would never know if you weren't in the business or something. So it was nice to get a remembrance. Thomas Bot says, I won't be able to see it until it's out on iTunes. Well, what if it comes out on DVD before it comes on iTunes? Limac says, no, I would like that spoiler review after the theatrical reviews. This would be fair. This is the track I want. Let's make people excited. I'm all for that. I don't know what it's doing in Germany. In the United States, it's a one-day release. It's a one-day limited theater release. So even if every theater was filled to the brim, they are not going to make much money. John Araki says, I think they dialed back Jadzia because they thought she was too Mary Sue, which pissed off the actress. She didn't mention anything like that. If anything, I don't want to give away. I don't want to give things away, but that was not what she brought up at all. Rose says, a shame. One of the more interesting characters on the show. Thomas Potts says, sure, show it. Ah, yes. Okay. This is Thomas Potts's pride and joy, I guess, Thomas. What would you say it is? That's my fish tank. That's my virtual fish tank. This is the stupid company that makes terrible software, and there's my hospital bit going off. So this is the picture Thomas Potts sent me. And I'll be honest, it's much bigger here than it was in Discord. So, and to Thomas's name. Thomas with heart, God bless you. XO. Wow, Thomas, was there more to this than just a fan getting an autograph picture? You don't have to tell. A gentleman doesn't tell, Thomas, so it's okay. Kennewick says Orville would be a great show for Disney's new streaming service. Hope the executives have sense. Kennewick, the only thing that bothers me is that Disney fully intends to make Star Wars TV shows. They've said it, and I have no reason to disbelieve it, and it would make sense. And I just believe that you get people in high positions in like Disney, and they start to think stupid things like, well, why do we need 2 space TV shows? Isn't the Orville just going to compete with Star Wars, the TV show? And they say, well, we don't need to compete with ourselves. And they just kill the Orville because they paid a lot more for Star Wars. I hope it doesn't happen like that, but the problem is I can totally see it happening just like that. It would be 100% within what I would expect from a company like Disney. John says to Liv Mac, Bird is an avid SJW. I am not an SJW. Kennewick says, no, we mock everyone. Well, that's pretty true. Rose says, or Hulu, Disney owns 60% of that. That is true. Well, it's on Hulu now, isn't it? Yes, it is. Orville is on Hulu right now because Fox owned part of Hulu. Now Disney owns that part that Fox owned. And its part. Thomas says, it's from a CD she made. I got an autograph at a convention years ago. Very cool. Kennewick says, Bird is the world's biggest teddy bear. Aw. Wait, how would you know? Actually, the teddy bear I got my sister is close to the world's biggest teddy bear. Vile Mike says, Bird of Prey is not really racist. I repeat, not racist, in quotes. Rose says, maybe he hates Kardashians. I do hate the Kardashians. not Kardashians, Kardashians. Keanu Xavier says, and maybe Lindsay Lohan. Yes, another one. Another one. Limac says, wow, I didn't realize this is a bed. I thought you were sitting in a very comfortable position. Well, it's not uncomfortable, although sometimes it is, because the bed is old and has lots of problems. But no, honestly, right now I'm pretty comfortable. But that is why it's called Bed Life, and if you ever see the thumbnail of the video, it'll be a hospital bed on the view screen of the Bird of Prey. John Araki says, Bird loves to sing. Check out the video where he sung Wrecking Ball. John says there are other ones where he sung Godzilla. There are good ones too. Okay, not terrible ones. Oh my God! At some point in the Deep Space Nine documentary, it wasn't. I thought they were playing "Sex" by Berlin, and I almost lost it. But it turned out it was just a very similar song, one I'd never heard of, called "Bitch." I was like, oh my God, I can't believe they're playing this. But it turned out not to be that, so. Vile Mike says Bird of Prey was involved in severe batleth accident when he tried to show off his mad skills on a scooter. That's what happened. I do have batleth. Actually, I had 2 batleths. Since I got sick, I can only find one. I don't know what the hell happened to my other batleth. It's kind of worrisome. I can't find it in this house. I don't know. Could I have given it away? Did I hide it somewhere? I mean, Mom has looked under the mattresses. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I can't believe, because the one I have is honestly the crappier one. I can't imagine. If I was to give anyone away, it would have been the one that we found that's still hanging in its place in the basement. Because the one that I can't find is the nicer, sharpened one. Thomas Potts says, once in a while, lol. No, it definitely wouldn't be in the attic. Canoic says Bird got run over by a drunk stormtrooper on a speeder. Limerick says as long as we want Alex Kurtzman to step far back from Star Trek, then this could be the beginning of a great friendship. Limerick, you found the right channel. All of us here, check out Vile Mike. DJ Odyssey's not here right now. Check him out. Rambling Canuck. But definitely check out Anti-Tracker. If you're interested, Limac, I am the webmaster for Anti-Tracker's website, antitracker.com. It's a forum, mostly around Anti-Tracker's streams, but I also have a sub-forum on it for all my videos. And there's about a dozen quote-unquote certified nerds, and we all believe more or less in the same thing, that Alex Kurtzman is the worst thing to happen to Star Trek. So definitely check out antitracker.com and check out Anti-Tracker as well, because when I'm not doing my videos, I'm usually on his streams or helping him with the website and doing stuff there. John Araki says Tim Allen startled him one night. He fell off the roof, and when he woke up, all his clothes had been stolen. John Araki says link to the Anti-channel. Yes, very cool. Thank you, John. Rose says thanks for explaining. Should excerpt that last little bit and install it as your about video. You know, Ro, I might do that. That's a good idea. Thank you for that. I probably go back or I'll probably record just something for it. But that is a good idea, especially now that I've got my new graphics. I should do that. Cool. Thank you, Ro. John Araki says, caution, Anti likes to play videos of naked Lore Reloaded dancing around. Okay. Lore is one of us, one of the nerd community. He's not fully naked, but he did do some videos in his early days on YouTube where he probably took off his shirt more than he should have. Thomas Potts says, FYI, Mega hit her goal. You don't need to rank. Very cool. Well, rant. Well, very good for Mecha. I wasn't going to rant anymore about it, but good for her. Thomas Potts says, STD characters besides Burnham get barely any screen time. Rose says, one of the producers died. No. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if one of the producers died. The people I took notice of, well, I know Luxwana Troy had passed away, and I didn't know that Admiral, let me get his name because it's going to bother me. Deep Space Nine Admiral Forrester? Or was that Enterprise? Admiral Ross. William Ross. Yes, Admiral Ross passed away. The actor who played Admiral Ross passed away. That one I didn't know about. And like I said, some other people, some behind the scenes people, which, I mean, it's sad and all, but I wouldn't, us normal people not involved in these things probably wouldn't have any way to know about it. And yeah, it's true. Ross wasn't in Section 31, at least not that we know of. He just said that, he helped Section 31 on occasion. It was a temporary alliance. Yes. You are correct, Thomas, and shame on me for trying to gloss over it and make it easier to understand by just saying something that wasn't true. You are totally correct. Thomas says iTunes really gets movies 2 weeks before DVD. Well, that's cool. I hope they get it. John Araki says Jadzia was good on Becker, but she got fired from that show. And they did show her on Becker. And they did say that there was an awful, awful line that somebody told her or somebody said to her. And she basically said that was the reason she was leaving the show. That she kind of made up her mind. Limix says, but if demand for this is big enough, CBS would finally realize Star Trek done right could be the big franchise it deserves to be. I agree. And if demand is big enough, what I hope is that they would finally choose to bring Deep Space Nine to HD. I mean, if they rescan the originals and re-rendered all the battles and stuff, even if they had to do it from scratch. Even if they had to redo all the special effects from scratch. Do it. I mean, just do it. I'd pay. I'd pay for Deep Space Nine HD before I'd pay for Discovery. Or the Picard series, to be perfectly honest. Unless the Picard series turns out to be good, which I doubt it, because it all comes back to Kurtzman. Thomas Potts says, my Shatner autograph is my favorite, followed by James Doohan. Very cool. John Araki says, was Chase Maelstrom on Baywatch? I do not know. Vile Mike says, Thomas looks like Rom. That's why he got the heart. Well, maybe. Thomas says, no, I'm far uglier. Vile Mike says, I would not say that. Rose says, yeah, supposedly Luis Muñez didn't know the difference between Star Wars and Star Trek. Vile Mike says, I won't contradict you, but I would not have said that. Thomas says, did the anti-tracker fall asleep? Too bad he doesn't have... Yes. Vile Mike says, Orville on Hulu is on Orville, Hulu. I'm going to watch it after the stream. Very cool, Vile. Anti-tracker says, Thomas Potts working, not sleeping. Sure you are, Anti-tracker. John Araki says, anyone else notice that Anti disappeared as soon as the new foreign fans jumped on the chat? Racism. Yeah, Thomas says, sure, Anti-tracker. Oh no, where did it go? Okay. Anti-tracker says, I just heard him compare me to Nog. Nobody was comparing you to Nog. Thomas was comparing himself to Nog. Kennewick says, I'm a Bitch by Meredith Brooks from the 90s. At first I thought it was the song you were singing. Exactly. Thomas says, Sassy has the other bat left. I wouldn't be surprised if she stashed it somewhere. She's waiting. She's waiting for the right time to strike. Vile Mike says, I am shocked. Bird has a bat left. Shocked, I say. 2. I had 2. I can't find one. Kennewick says, done with Kurtzman. So say we all. Agreed. Limax says, I know Anti-Tracker. I bothered him with the hashtag DS9doc today to get attention for Season 8. Subscriber for maybe 1 year. Okay, very cool. So I guess I have to thank Anti-Tracker for you too. Very cool. John Araki says Turd Roddick is the other channel Anti appears on once in a while. Vile Mike says Mecha hit a goal. Does this mean we get the bikini stream? Or did she already do that and missed it? John Araki says Trek Yards doesn't come around anymore because fans keep calling Captain Foley Shill Yards. He seemed to come around. I mean, even on the last episode of Discovery, he had come to Anti-Tracker's stream. Limix says Michael Pillar was the producer who died. Okay, sorry to hear that. Rose says, yes, Michael Pillar is the one I was thinking about. Kennewick said Pillar had a good book about his time, one track. I forget the title. Fade In. Rose says he was co-creator of the show, I believe. Limax says Pillar has a great section too. I was crying half the time of the doc. Sci-Fi Guy says great photo, Thomas. Did you get Shatner and Doohan autograph photos or just the autographs? Thomas says autograph photos. And Thomas says Doohan died a year or 2 after. Vile Mike is trying to say I said the quote, I'd pay for Deep. No, I'd pay for Deep Space Nine HD. That's the quote. You can't just cut off 4 or 5 words. Rose says, did the doc talk about Roddenberry at all? Only in a peripheral way. Like, you know, just like you would expect. Like Roddenberry's vision of Star Trek was blank. There was no extended talk. Rose says, yeah, did it talk about Roddenberry at all? Multi-Gunman, welcome Multi-Gunman. Says, hi Bird, how's it going? It's going well, Multi-Gunman. Big day, lots of good stuff going on. I hope you'll check out the Orville and the Star Trek documentary, What We Left Behind, and Cobra Kai, and getting ready for Game of Thrones on Sunday. So good things. Rose says the case of the missing Batleth. Indeed, it should be a children's book. Sassy and the case of the missing Batleth. The Multi-Gunman says, I turned Bird's live stream on for the first time today, and what do I hear? I'm a bitch. You just got lucky. Vile Mike says, someone called Detective Pikachu. Thomas Potts says, whatever happened to your children, Bird of Prey? I don't have any children. Thomas says, don't tell me you forgot about them again. Bart, Lisa, and Maggie. I'm not Homer Simpson. I wish I was. Homer could walk, and he's married, and he has a good house, and he has lobster for dinner, and he has friends, and he seems never to have real money issues, and he goes on adventures every week. Everyone would kill to be Homer Simpson. And he has a great neighbor. I'll do anything for him. John Araki says, Game of Thrones is going to be crazy on Sunday. I think it will. Multi-Gunman says, where can I watch the DS9 documentary? Is it on Netflix? No, Multi-Gunman. Unfortunately, right now, there's no way to watch it if you didn't already back it. You would have had to back it like 3 months ago, going back 2 or 3 years whenever it started. It was an Indiegogo project. At this point, the only way to watch it is to find someone who was a backer and go over their house or invite them to yours, I suppose. And then they can stream it on a computer. And maybe if they know what they're doing, you can put it on a television. Or wait until May 13th. On May 13th, it's coming out for 1 day in some movie theaters. You can get a ticket. You can watch it in the movie theater, which is absolutely the best way to watch it, because just to have this experience, to see this, they got some really great HD footage. Just to see it on the big screen, it's going to be amazing. Or you have to just wait, and some point after May 13th, probably a few months later, I don't know exactly, they will release the DVD and Blu-ray to purchase. And maybe it'll go on some streaming sites at that time. I don't know, but we'll see. John Araki says, I hope they don't try to subvert us with the Night King dying immediately. Vile Mike says, I thought they were Chris, Meg, and Stewie. No, now that would be terrible. Although he does have a hot wife. John Araki says, Bird lives above a bowling alley and below another bowling alley. Almost as bad. Almost as bad. I have literally railroad tracks running through my backyard. The Long Island Railroad runs just outside my backyard. Limac says, theatrical release for 1 day in the U.S., May 13th, but if fans get loud, they'll find a way to distribute it widely. And this should be a good punch for Greed BS. Yes, Greed BS. I agree. Anyway, guys, I think it's getting to that time. Thank you guys all so much for coming. Thank you to the new guys who showed up where we don't usually see, and to everyone else who's been here for a while. Please remember to comment after it's over, like, subscribe, tell friends, tell family, slip it into papers at work, so your coworkers are going through their reports and all of a sudden there's a paper that says, hey, check out youtube.com/BirdoPrey5, and they'll be like, oh, what's up with this is weird, I better go check it out. Yeah, whatever you can do would be greatly appreciated. Thomas Pond says a World War I documentary was only to be in theaters 2 days, but it became very successful, so it got more viewings. Very cool. Canoic Sapien says Qapla. Vile Mike says, later, Bird of Prey, thanks for the plug. Have a good insert relevant time period here, everyone. Peace out, Mr. Bird. Good night, all. Qapla, thank you for coming. And tomorrow, City Skylines. And Anti-Tracker says first. Thank you all for watching my video. Please remember to comment, like, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that bell icon. Without it, you won't get notifications of new videos. If you want to visit me, check out my forum at JUOT.net. I'm also on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, and Gab. And if you're really crazy, you can send me some money on PayPal. Take care.